page or even via our YouTube channel. So good morning to those of you that have just joined us. We say thanks for being part of today's conversation, and I want to say good morning to our friends from the Royal Grenada Police Force. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the program. Sergeant Corporal, you there?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you and welcome to the mid-morning buzz. The conversation around road safety is not one that necessarily, that people start jumping about and bawling hooray about, because there seems to be a culture that speaks to how the police interact, and there's that sometimes a sense of uneasiness. But for most of us, the greater society, we do appreciate that we need the role, we need the involvement of the Royal Grenada Police Force to ensuring that there is safety, there is rule, there is regulation, and there is order when it comes to what happens on our nation's roads.
Yes, everyone need to play a role in road safety, because basically road safety is every individual concern, because their safety will come into play at some point.
When we say road safety, because road safety can be seen as a broad topic, narrow it down. What exactly are we trying to hone in on when we talk about the whole issue of safety on the nation's road?
Well, road traffic safety refers to actually the methods and measures used to prevent road users from being killed or seriously injured. So it's just the methods that are being used.
Well, that is often an interesting conversation, because one of the first things you often hear is that individuals, there's one law that governs what happens to you getting your license, and then you get your license, you head onto the roads, and then it's almost as though saying your license is in fact a license to break the law. But let's talk about some of the everyday things that it is expected that the average road user is expected to comply with once they're on the road.
Well, first of all, you should comply with the speed limit. All right, you should obey all signs. You should obey all instructions given to you by persons who are employed to do so. For example, traffic wardens, police officer. So it starts with complying with the law in terms of wearing your seatbelt, driving within the speed limit, ensuring that your vehicle meet the requirements in terms of whether or not your vehicle is roadworthy. All right, so you want to have proper tires as well, because having proper tires will also aid in improving your safety as well. So all those things would come into question when something do happen.
More and more we get used to I get the sense from my, and you can correct me if this, because I'm assuming the stats that speaks to the number of road accidents. And up to yesterday, there was a report of an incident at the current area, and then it's my understanding that 2 persons are actually been hospitalized following that. Is there an increase in the number of road accidents? And if so, what in your estimations is giving rise to that? The frequency.
There is indeed a number. There's indeed an increase in the number of road accidents, and I believe that one of the contributing factors is that there are more vehicles on the nation road now. All right. I can remember as a boy, you could have played cricket in the road and get an over in before a vehicle comes along. But now you cannot do that anymore. All right. So there are a vast number of vehicles on our road, which is a contributing factor. Also, there are more persons who have driving license now. So there are more persons that have driving license now, and there are also youthful exuberance in terms of young persons being in possession of driving license. And we know what youthful exuberance can bring along. It can bring along speeding and so on, and reckless driving, overtaking wrong corners, and, 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 and so on, driving exceedingly fast and wet roads and so on.
How do you
So those
deal?
are, go ahead.
I was asking, and I'm happy that you raised you raised the issue of youthful exuberance. I like the way that you've coined it. How do you deal with that though? Because more and more you're seeing, and I sometimes wonder, you see, because we know we also have to talk about the issue of the busmen, that culture that emanates, and you sometimes wonder. You see a driver on the road today, and before you say Jack Robinson, he's behind the wheel of a public transport, um, daunted with the task of traversing the nation's road to carry the nation's workforce. But for them, how do you find the balance between the two, road safety and the whole question of that culture that seemed to have developed where it's a I need to make a quick buck?
Well, what we can ensure as a what we can ensure as a force is to ensure that the person meet the requirements in terms of obtaining the driving license, and they do have the required experience, and that is all that we can do from that point. But once that person gets on the road, the RGPF is now tasked with ensuring to enforce all the laws in relation to that person operating a motor vehicle on the road.
We're going to come back to the busman, but while you're at it though, let's talk about, can you raise it initially, the issue of maintaining speed limits. Let's talk about the speed limits, and you also touched on signs, road signs. That is one, if you ask me, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that seems to be one of our major challenge here on island, the issue of signage, speed limits.
Yeah, it is. Signage is one of our challenges. But if you look around the nation, you will see that a number of speed limit signs have been erected, and they have been erected in some strategic locations, because we are aware of certain areas where person might be tempted to speed. So we erect those road signs there, and we are also engaging in education program like this to ensure to make persons aware of the dangers in speeding. And also we are enforcing the speed limit by doing radar checks.
So let's talk about the speed limits. Speed limits within the tongue of St.
Yeah,
George
so
and
speed
other
limit
parts.
within, okay, so speed limit the speed limit for all towns within the Triland state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Bidimadic is 20 miles per hour. So it doesn't matter what class of vehicle that you are driving. Once you're driving within the town, within the particular town, the speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Now, outside of town, for commercial vehicles, for example, vehicles that are flying for hire, like buses and so on, that carry the registration letter on the plate, and on the registration plate H and T, is 35 miles per hour. All right. Now, for private vehicles, because that carry the registration letter P on the registration plate out of town, is 40 miles per hour. Now, drivers must be reminded that the speed limit um, were erected when the ideal condition for driving is present. For example, on a dry road. All right. So 40 miles per hour might be the speed limit, but if the road is wet, then 40 miles per hour is not ideal for that particular condition. So drivers must be aware of that. And now the circumstances that exist at the time must determine the manner in which you drive. For example, the road is wet. You know that your stopping distance, will now be much longer because the road is wet. Now, drivers also have to ensure that they have proper tires, because why? The vehicle tires are the only contact between the vehicle and the road. All right. So if your tire is smooth, your tire doesn't have any grooves, all right, it will be difficult for you to stop at a reasonable distance. All right, so your drag max or your stopping distance will increase. So those are the circumstances that we drivers must take into consideration when we are in charge of a motor vehicle or driving a motor vehicle on the public road.
Let me just draw the constable into the conversation. I know he's one of the young the younger officers, and of course he's tasked with dealing with people's the hormones and the rage that Grenadians, and I'm saying it honestly because we seem as though, I don't know, we seem always to be pepped up, we seem to be so much more intolerable. And let me just throw it to the constable in terms of his experience as a young police officer, and how does you deal with those sort of challenges on the road.
So, we've already mentioned, speeding being one of the challenges, the offenses we deal with, and
I need you to make
on a day-to-day basis.
I need you to make some adjustments to the camera because I'm not seeing them at all. Across some more. Great, that's better.
Yes, so as I was saying, as we mentioned, speeding, this is one of the, in terms of young drivers nowadays, once they get their license. Are you hearing me properly?
Right, that's better. Stay right there.
Yes. Once we're dealing with young drivers, we're talking about the thrill of speed. And as you mentioned, the reckless driving. Because once you a young driver, you're not talking experience here. And what excites young drivers, as I said earlier, is the thrill of speed. And we tend to do a lot of recklessness in terms of loud music, because if I get my license and I am the owner of a motor vehicle, as I mentioned, speeding earlier, and I want to turn up the volume of my music to a point where other persons can hear and they can see me driving that vehicle in a manner where where it will bring across the public to be sorry. Yeah, where you will to attract the public.
Right. But let me ask you though, I mean, you are a young officer and there's a youthful sergeant made issue of we have a more youthful driving population. What is in your mind? You talk about the issue of speeding. How does the different element, how does the issue of this other secondary distractions, how do they normally come into play when it comes to the whole conversation of road safety and that which you've recognized as an increase in the number of road accidents and road fatalities? So you have cell phones, music.
Yes.
How does all of these things come into play, and what would be your advice?
Yes. So as you've mentioned, distracted driving, and that comes in a lot of different forms. To start off by the use of using your mobile device. And we know we have a young population where we are so entangled into our phones that we normally get carried away and forget sometimes that we are driving, and being human, sometimes multitasking is not one of the attributes that we possess. And at times we are so clinging to the fact that the message tones, that even while driving and a message coming, we are tempted to look at our phones. We're tempted to even have communication while driving. And we know that the end results of distracted driving, that one can end up in a collision.
I know in more recent times there's been the conversation of the use of headphones and other secondary devices so that the user can communicate with the device to limit on those distractions. Let's talk about, and very often while these laws are there, the question always comes across of the issue of enforcement. That is often said to be that the laws are there, but yet police officers tend not to do much about it.
In relation to the traffic department, those laws are being enforced, because we can see on a daily basis a number of drivers are being dealt with in relation to those offenses, such as using mobile device while driving and the other offenses.
Is it a case?
So we are enforcing the laws. Maybe, and those offenses are quite common.
What are the penalties, though? What are the penalties?
For the mobile device while driving, it is categorized in terms of public vehicle, public service vehicle, as the sergeant has mentioned earlier, and those with H and T.
Right.
Or mostly H. They can be charged up to a maximum of $5,000 in the, and the fixed penalty ticket is $500.
What are you? Based on your
private vehicles, before you go ahead, the private vehicles, the fixed penalty ticket is $150, and the maximum in terms of the court decision, once a matter reaches court, is $3,500.
Quite a discrepancy there, in what is applied.
Yes, because when you're dealing with hired vehicles, those that are an H, you're talking about not only your life, but you're dealing with other persons on the passenger bus, especially. Their life is at risk as well. So you are no longer responsible for your life, but the amount of passengers that are on your bus at the time. And not only that, the other persons using the road, because a bus might lose control and the persons in the bus might be affected, and the other persons using the road. So it might be another driver or other vehicle, the vehicle run into, or you might just run into a pedestrian along the way.
And I agree that, but I'm very often you notice that you hear individuals say, well, I've been on the road for X, Y, and Z, and I've never met in an accident. But however, they may be the ones that are creating the accidents, and I think maybe very often that's where you get that disparity in that. A busman, he knows, of course, because there's a harsher penalty, he tends to be more cognizant of it. But persons in a private transport, and I've seen it over and over, where they tend to be more laxed when it comes to dealing and treating with those things. But as I said, that's why we have in this sort of forum here, to continue to educate the public. But Constable, you on the road every day. What, in your estimation, are some of the more common transgressions that you see that's committed on the road on a daily basis?
Well, by means of statistics, the most common offense on the nation road is failing to wear seatbelt. And then it goes down to defective tires, and among the commons are the use of the cell phone while driving. And up to date, we have seen a lot of unlicensed drivers being on our nation's road as we speak.
It's either they that brave or that stupid. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm not sure which one it is. But on the issue of the seatbelt, because I mean, we've had that argument with seatbelts for quite a while. Why do you think there seems to be such a slow acceptance to the reality that seatbelts is a must?
What I must say is that when you're dealing with seatbelts, firstly, one must think about their safety. Because if you does not have your safety in mind, these things will be out of your memory. But if you completely look at your safety before you move your vehicle, you must ensure that I click my seatbelt, because at the end of the day, if I'm meeting a collision, the end result, because a lot of people might say that a seatbelt might cause more damage than good. But let me tell them this, that a seatbelt have more good than bad, because remember, you're in that vehicle, the vehicle meets in an accident. The first thing, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, you can be a projectile, meaning that you can move from one position to the other depending on the speed that vehicle is moving at, and depending on how the accident happens. A seatbelt because the purpose of the seatbelt is to keep you in position into that seat that you are attached to.
Right.
And a lot of persons do not see that way. Because as I mentioned, the part of being a projectile, the fact that moving from, because where speed is involved, we have seen accidents where persons leave their seats and protrude through the windshield. Persons from the back seats end up in the front seats and cause more damage than what the accident caused, and they get a lot of injuries as a result of that.
I know, we'll have to agree with you 100%. It's just that our half our time has expired. I'm just going to give it 2 minutes though, just to consolidate our conversation today and remind the general public on the critical need to ensure and realize the need for road safety and the whole issue of this recognizing speed limits and road signs.
I'll leave the sergeant to give that wrap up.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, good morning once again. Just before we go much further, I just want to bring to the attention of the general public what is really defensive driving. Because it is critical. It is critical in terms of reducing the number of accidents on the nation's road. Now, defensive driving is actually is defined as skills. All right, is defined as driving skills to save lives, time, money, and despite the condition around you and the action of other drivers. So, despite what is actually going on around you, you must also stay fast to the correct thing, or stick to the proper thing.
Okay, make it practical. Make it practical for me, Sergeant. Let's do practical. I am heading down Morris Bishop Highway.
I'm heading down Morris Bishop Highway. Highway.
Complete the
right. I should drive within the speed limit. So I should be between 35 and 40 miles per hour. I should have on my seat belt. All right. In the case that an accident do occur, I must pay attention to the road signs. I should not be on my cell phone, all right, or any other electronic device. I should not overload my vehicle in the sense that my vehicle is overload extra passengers, all right, because it will be difficult for an individual to have control of the motor vehicle properly in terms of changing gears and steering that motor vehicle properly, all right. I should ensure that my vehicle have proper tires, the indicators and so on are working, because when I want to make a maneuver, I must inform that person behind me well in time so that person can react properly. I must have proper brake light when I'm slowing down. That person must see my brake light. So one of the requirements is to ensure that your vehicle is working properly.
Let me ask you while you added Sergeant on the whole issue of defensive driving. So I have everything else in check. My vehicle, my tires are good. I'm fine. I'm minding my business. I am, let's say, coming around a corner, minding my business, holding my end, and as I open up, I hit the corner, I notice that it's an accident. Some people say I head into a blind spot. Take me through what should be going through the mind of a driver in the context. So you have a busload of people. You're coming around. In the context of defensive drive, because most drivers, the initial instinct, if I have to stop suddenly, is to slam the brake. In the context of defensive driving, let's take the next few minutes. In defensive driving, what should be your first step be? Do I slam on the brakes or do I use my gears and brakes? What should be the combination?
Well, the combination should be gears and brakes. As you said, you're approaching a corner. The first thing when you're approaching a corner, you should slow down. You should be prepared to stop because you doesn't know what is around that corner because you cannot see ahead. So first of all, you should slow down by the use of your gas and cover your brakes. In other words, cover your brakes. In other words, that you are slowing down because you do not know what to expect. So in the event that something arises, you can stop.
Let me ask.
And the other thing, the other thing we are seeing happening on the road is that persons are not actually using their hands anymore. Say, for example, you go around a corner, you blow your horn. The driver, if another vehicle is approaching, they are aware that another vehicle is approaching from the opposite direction. All right, so all those things must come into play when you are practicing defensive driving.
Is that the defensive driving? Is that a compulsory element as enshrined within the highway code? So that is a mandatory element of you getting your license to drive on the nation's road?
Yes, it is. It is part of the driving requirements in terms of getting your license, because that instructor or that license examiner, the instructor first of all must teach you defensive driving. All right. When that happens, what do you do? If you're driving along a particular road and you see there is a number of pedestrians gathered in an area, what should you do? Should you reduce your speed, or should you speed up? Those are those things that should be taught. Now, when that person come together, when that person now go to the theoretical part and the practical part, all right, and then that person is now ready to actually perform that practical part, that during the guided practice to perform that part, to get that license now. Then the examiner is looking for your ability to practice defensive driving. So once that is not adhered to, then the license examiner wouldn't say that you are fit to be on our road.
We almost out of time, literally almost out of time. But I'm thinking the process of renewing your license, does it require, outside of just going and pay at the Treasury, does it require? Does it require you to, as a driver, based on maybe the amount of accidents you've had, recite tickets you have received, does it require that maybe you go back to, let's say, a field where you meet one of your officers that takes you through some of the issues? Because the challenge is that you get on the road, and once you get on the road, you're licensed for life.
Yes. Based on the number of accidents you have and your age and so on, the licensing officer, the officer in charge of traffic can require you to do an examination. All right. So in terms of, you can also do a medical to check your eyes and ears and so on. Also, the demerit points, depending on the amount of tickets that you get and charges, all right, convictions, then your license can be suspended for an extended period. Up to at least 3 months.
Okay, I know it's a conversation we'd like to go on, but the truth is I'm really out of time, and I have another guest that is waiting. But we do appreciate it, Ryan and Troy and the rest of the gang up there at the Community Relations Department. I'm asking them, please, this is my request, Mr. Zangawe and Superintendent Cohen, to have you guys back with me next week. So I hope they would adhere to my request, so that I will make my own appeal on your behalf. I'll make my own appeal. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I know I have Cammy waiting in the wing, and I know she have a little frown on her face. Well, quick commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
All the best to you.
This new virus spreads mostly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced use when someone who is sick coughs or sneezes.
Yeah, that's the voice of Mariah Carey.
This is similar to how flu and other respiratory illnesses
I mean, if you see
spread.
Cammy Bunks.
These droplets can land in the mouth or nose of people nearby, or possibly
Anyway, Cammy,
be
good morning
inhaled
to you,
into
good
the
morning to
lungs.
you, and good morning to the rest
Most
of the team down there
person-to-person
at
spread
Real
happens
Value
when people are in
IGA.
close
Hi,
contact.
how are
It's
you
also possible
doing?
that this virus can
Hi,
spread
I'm doing
when
well.
someone
How are you?
touches a
I am
contaminated
excellent. No
surface
complaints.
and then touches
None
the
at all.
mouth,
None
nose,
at all.
or eyes.
Talk to me. What's buzzing down there today?
Okay, well, remember we have our anniversary next month, and next month starts
5 things you need to know about
Just now.
self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other
good word for it. A full capacity stove, a stove, a
Right.
30-inch Whirlpool stainless steel stove is up for grabs right now. And it's very simple and very easy to participate in this promotion.
Uh-huh.
You only spend $20 or more at the supermarket. And in your purchase, you include a box of IGA cornflakes, either Nestle full cream, low fat UHT milk, either or Orchard 100% orange juice, right, in a 1 liter. So you have 3 options. You just buy a box of IGA cornflakes, and you know us. Typically, if we have cornflakes in the house, is usually cereal in the house is usually cornflakes.
Right.
You know, across the board, right? It's easy, simple, right? And you just pick up a brand of IGA cornflakes, either the Nestle full cream milk or the low fat UHT milk or an Orchard 100% orange juice, and you get a chance to win the stove. And this draw is up until the 17th of August. Promotion ends on the 17th of August, and we draw on the 18th, right? So now is a great chance to participate in this. Remember, it's less than $20. So the box of cornflakes is like $8 and some cents, and milk is what, $5? So it's very easy to participate in it, and you get a full stove, a 30-inch Whirlpool stainless steel stove. And as well, you get a 7-piece pot set. And I don't know about y'all, but if I could have participated,
You cannot take part. So don't get too
No, but it's
emotional about this.
awesome because,
You can't take
man,
part.
Yeah, but I love to bake, and like opening the oven itself, you know, it has really, you know, big racks. I could put about like 4 cakes.
Well, here's what I
each
maybe
rack.
suggest you can do. Maybe you want to resign effective tomorrow, and then reapply for your work
After the draw.
after the job.
I don't think that sounds too legitimate.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but it's only $20 to participate. And as I said, like most of us, we usually buy cornflakes, you know, instead of the fancy-fied cereals. And we usually have milk in our house or juice, you know,
Right.
especially if you have kids and stuff like that. You know, it's an easy, simple breakfast for them as well.
I think it's an easy combination: breakfast, milk, juice. Who doesn't have that
Yeah.
in their house? And if you don't, you need it.
Yes, I
You
agree
need it.
with you.
You need it.
I agree with you totally, wholeheartedly. So let me just move on to our product of the week. So this week our product of the week is Heinz apple cider vinegar. It's a small bottle for 473 ml. The regular price is $7.15. Special offer. You save $1 on it. It's the product of the week, and if we remember, the product of the week goes up until Sunday. So now is a good chance to use that. You could use it. I know a lot of people use apple cider vinegar for weight loss. They'll also use it in their salads. So it's, you know, it's a diverse sort of
Product to have.
condiment to have in the house,
Right.
you know. Okay, so currently we have a special as well on local frozen chicken breast. So the regular price is $13.95. Now, for a limited time, it's $9.50.
Ooh.
And remember, that's local frozen chicken breast.
A good
I know-
time to stock up.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people keep on saying, oh, we sell like foreign chicken and stuff like that. Yes, we have a wide variety of stuff that we sell in the supermarket, but we do have local products as well, right? Local chicken from our local chicken farmers, right? So this price, $9.50 for local frozen chicken breast. As well, we have a special offer on fresh local chicken breast.
Okay.
So you have frozen chicken breast at $9.50, and you have local boneless, skinless chicken breast for $10.15 per pound. Remember, okay? So $9.50 for frozen and $10.15 for fresh, boneless, skinless.
All I'm hearing is stock up.
Yeah.
All I hear is stock
Yeah,
up.
as well. You know, I agree, because chicken breast is one of those things that's very versatile. You know, you can fry it, you could like make a sandwich with it. You know,
And it is easy to cook as well.
Exactly.
It is you would be surprised. It is chicken breast. I mean, and as you talk about the versatility, school's opening. So whether or not you want to make a chicken sandwich, you want to make some nuggets, you want to make a chicken salad, you whatever, it's a really, really versatile portion meat that I think everybody should actually have and it is healthy as it gets.
I agree with you. There's not a high fat content in chicken breast. So that makes it even more popular around people who are, you know, looking after themselves when it comes to things that they eat. Right? Mm-hmm. So those are specials. We also have a special on Hardy's Nottage Hill Australian wines. So the regular price is $37.70. The special offer gets it down to $29.90. And currently with those, either one, you have the Chardonnay, you have the Syrah, you have the Sauvignon Blanc, you have the Merlot. With any purchase of any one of those, you also receive a free gift. So the free gift can be a wine bag with some wine openers, or also a ball cap, or, you know, or we just call them a cap.
Can I ask that my gift be one of that 7-piece pot set? Huh?
Oh, you were talking to me?
Well, I want to ball. Okay, Joseph, behave.
You like how I put that in there, though?
TikTok. Where you learned it from? TikTok? No, I was just jokingly asking you whether or not my gift when I come could be.
No, I was listening to you. I was just ignoring the answer to your question.
I want to ask you again. I want you to answer me. I'm just joking. So there's a lot happening, folks. In case you're just joining us, it's happening at Real Value IGA. And the anniversary is right around the corner. Celebrating 20 years, is it, Cams?
20 years on August the 20th. Of course, as we get closer and closer to the day, we will have more promotions going on. So right now it's a stove, but who knows, there can be lots of other things. So stay tuned to our social media pages, and also to me and Joseph's banter on Tuesdays as well.
And not as that, and I know we have some things, some special things in store for them, but we're not going to tell them today. We're not going to tell them. But you and I both know that we have some really, really, really special plans in store for the general public as part of your anniversary. I know, of course, it's surprised that somebody was asking about local, because, you know, Real Value, you pride yourself on being able to provide all things local, even vegetables. Are you hunting for vegetables this week?
Yes, we are. And I like that lead in. Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
Very well done. All right. So this week we're requesting dry coconuts, cabbage, Christophine, grapefruit, lemon, lime, orange, sweet potatoes, Kentucky beans, body beans, yam, sweet corn, broccoli, and cauliflower. I know that list is pretty extensive, so we will have it up on our Facebook page. So if you didn't hear, you could always look on our Facebook page. But I'm going to say it again. So it's dry coconut, cabbage, Christophine, grapefruit, lemon, lime, orange, sweet potato, Kentucky beans, body beans, yam, sweet corn, broccoli flour, and cauliflower. So those are the requested products, produce, local produce for this week. And as I said, we will put it up on our Facebook page as well. Let me just let people know that we have Emancipation Holiday.
Hold on, Kaz. Before you go there, there's something you have to remind persons that's interested in probably selling to you. There's some strict protocols that's in place. One, farmer's license.
Yes, we do require a farmer's ID for us to accept your products in the supermarket. We also require you to call in first so we could assure that you have what we want, and for us to schedule a time so you could come in and drop your produce off and we could do the transaction right there. Just to reiterate, we are still on a COVID certain protocols when it comes to COVID-19.
Yes.
So we do require you to have your farmer's ID and also call in to make an appointment for for you to come in so we can get your products as well.
Emancipation is just around the corner.
Yes. So Emancipation Day is on Monday, I believe, and we are open on Emancipation Day. So if you need anything on that day or for that day, you're always welcome to come down to the supermarket. We're open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Anything else? Anything special happening on that day as part of the celebration?
No, not on Emancipation Day. But as we get closer and closer, as I said before, we have more stuff planned and being planned currently. So hopefully I'll be able to get everything to you in a more timely manner, but it will not be on Monday. Perhaps on Tuesday.
Perhaps on Tuesday. We can tell you, Grenada, that August is the time. It is the time for Real Value IGA. Celebrating the anniversary. As part of the anniversary, you get a chance to win a 30-inch stainless steel Whirlpool stove. And if that's not good enough, you get a 7-piece pot set to add with it. I've already actually cleared out that piece of mangarang thing I have there already, because I'm marking out Whirlpool. I see it already. I don't really want y'all pots. I could hold y'all pots, yeah. But the Whirlpool,
you could give it away. Share the wealth.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you. My battery.
Share the wealth.
Sorry, my battery.
Give the pot sets away.
Sorry, my battery's going low.
I see what you did there. Let me just remind people as well, we still have WhatsApp ordering going on. So you can still order your groceries from the supermarket. Remember, the number is 404-2121. And also, if you do want lunch or dinner, our hot foods is also open. And you can also request food from our WhatsApp ordering services as well. The same number, 404-2121, right? So you just WhatsApp. Our menu is on our Facebook page, or you could always call. Our number is 439-2121.
And when you come in after having made your WhatsApp ordering, and then you notice that you don't have what is it you notice that you don't have?
Cereal.
No. When you get to the cashier, you notice that you don't have a
frequent shopper card.
Cavs, work with me.
I was slow on that one.
Very slow.
Oh my.
Talk to us about that. You always want to have that present with you.
Exactly, because you get discounts when you use your frequent shopper card, and you also generate points that you could, use for another purchase or that specific purchase as well. Because like, if you come to the supermarket and you have $10 and, your goods that you pick up is $15 and you have your frequent shopper cards and you've been using it, you could say, oh, take that $5 off my frequent shopper card, and just so you get your money back, right?
That frequent shopper card is like Vex money.
It's like Vex money, and exactly.
I know, Cav, you like to walk around with your Vex money just in case.
Well, you have to, because you can't leave yourself stranded, Joseph.
You can't. And the process is quite simple, isn't it? It's not no long, complicated process.
No, it's free. You just go to our customer service desk and you tell them you want to sign up. They can print your card right away. Or if, you're saying right now, I'm sitting there and I don't feel like going down to Real Value right now to sign up for the frequent shopper card.
Right. You
could go to realvalueiga.com, sign up for your frequent shopper card, and the next time you feel like coming down to the supermarket, all you need to do is go by the customer service desk and tell them I signed up online, and they will issue your card for you. As I said, it's free, it's easy, 100%.
Yet another of the 1,000 reasons why you should shop at Real Value IG. Remind you, the anniversary is just around the corner. August is going to be really exciting. On special this week, it's their cider. Which are the ciders again? Heinz apple cider is on special. And also on special, you can either get frozen chicken breast or fresh chicken breast. I say it's time to stock up. It is time to stock up.
Local fresh, local frozen.
Local fresh, local frozen. And of course, the clarion call goes out to all of you farmers out there. There's a list of items that the Real Value supermarket, they're always on a quest to find, because of course they pride themselves as being able to support all things local and being able to feed the nation. Eat what you grow and grow what you eat.
Indeed.
Thanks a lot, Camps. What's on the menu for lunch today, though?
It's on our Facebook page. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But it is available.
It's a lot of stuff.
You can come to Real Value, give them a call. Give a call, 4439-2121.
Yes, exactly. You could call, and you could also visit our Facebook page for the menu. The menu is quite extensive. So we have chicken, we have fish, we have beef, we have rice, we have potatoes. We have quite a lot of items on the menu as well.
I feel like ravioli today. You have that? You don't?
No.
Thanks a lot, Cabs.
We have pasta.
You got pasta. Thanks a lot, Cam. It's always a pleasure to choose and to link up with you and the rest of the team at Real Value IGA. Again, reminding you to the general public, anniversary is on, celebrating 20 years of excellent service, committed service to the Grenadian public, and of course committing themselves to another 80 plus years. I'm not sure where Camilla and I would be then. We'd probably be somewhere rocking away looking for our front teeth. And
on the beach.
On the beach. Thanks a lot, Cams. All the best to you. That's where I say goodbye to you, reminding you that at the top of the hour, which is just in three or so minutes, that's on radio though, would be the midday edition, a production of the News and Current Affairs Department. So long, everybody. Have a great one. Reminding you to be good to yourself. Of course, because if you don't, nobody else is going to commit the task of being good to you. So long, everybody. Peace and love. JC loves you. I'm out of here. The midday edition comes up in just a bit.